MAP4C 4.0 Statistical Literacy Introduction. Our first concept we're learning is ratios, and a ratios is a way of comparing one group to another directly. So if a class has 10 students total and we're asked the ratio of boys to girls, it's 6 to 4, talking about the components of the group. 6 boys to 4 girls. And we can express this ratio in lowest terms by using division. The greatest common divisor is 2 for 6 and 4. This divided by 2 is 3. This divided by 2 is 2. And we can also express it in a larger form by using multiplication. So any factor that you choose to multiply with times this number and this number will get an equivalent ratio. I'm using 10 just for example, so 60 and 40. Measures of central tendency and range. So measures of central tendency are ways of finding the middle. There's different ways of defining the middle. Let's start off with mean. The sum of the data is divided by the number of values. So this is a fancy statistical way of saying the mean, mu, is equal to the sum of x. So add all of the entries together, divide by n. So let's use an example. Calculate each value using the following set of data. We add all of these values together, check to see that it's 49. Divide by the number of elements. There are 10 numbers. So when we divide, we get 4.9 as the mean. The median is the middle number when the data is arranged from least to greatest. So when you accumulate data, it might not always be in order. Look at the data given, cross out by starting with the lowest number and writing in ascending order. If there's 10 elements, the median finds the middle based on its position. So there are 5 and 5 to the left and right of this point here. However, this space is not in our data set. So if we have this situation, add those values together, divide by 2 to find the midpoint between 4 and 7. The value is 5.5 for the median in this example. Next, the mode is the most frequent number in a set. So if we look at our data set, 7 is coming up 1, 2, 3 times, and we can say 7 is our mode. If there is another value that comes up with the same frequency or the same number of times, we can have more than one mode. In this case, 7 is the most frequent. Lastly, range. The range is the difference between the largest and smallest values. So if we take our maximum and subtract our minimum, it tells us how spread out the data is. So in this case, 9 is our largest, 1 is our smallest, so max minus min is 8. Percent increase and decrease. How quantities change over time can be described as a percentage of its original value. So percent change is the current value minus the original value. Think of this as the difference in the amount, whereas the denominator is the original value. So let's use an example for context. A shirt cost $25 in January. In May, it was sold for $32.99. What was the percentage increase from January to May? So this numerator representing the difference. It's $32.99 minus 25. It's changed by a certain amount. Divided by the original amount. So you have to talk about change from some reference point, and we're always going to use the previous amount. So when we divide this calculation, so subtract, divide, you can hit equals, multiply by 100, we get approximately 32%. Now in this second example, a percentage decrease, we see the price went down, but by how much did it go down? So 1849 minus 25, that's going to provide a negative value. We divide by the original amount and then multiply by 100. This is approximately negative 26%, or we can say it has decreased by 26%. So make sure that you practice.